Hello, everybody. How's everybody? Hi. Miss Byrne and I'd like to welcome you here. We're going to work on. Hello, everybody. How's everybody? I got a little echo right there. Let me get rid of that echo. All right. So this is for all those who are in Mr. Burns' class. If you don't know, Mr. Noah here. We are broadcasting. Just going over the review sheets. Remember, we did on Tuesday. We went over sheets 1 through 6, pages 1 through 6, and now let's go over pages 7 and 8. Remember, tomorrow is a short little quiz on this chapter online. If you're on now, say something in chat, and we could talk, especially if you're stuck on something, if something's confusing you, because it's a little harder to, unless I hear what your question is, I can answer it. But otherwise, I'm just going to go through and just talk through and work my way through the sheet. I'll show you how to do it. But like I said, if you're online, if you are watching right now, or you could just, when you're watching, let's say if you're not watching now, let's say you're going to watch later, you could always send me a message, or send an email to Mr. Byrne and myself, put a post on Schoology, or put a post right here in the chat and say, hey, can you, that part I was a little confused at, and we could talk about it and put it up on the next video. Okay, so we're going to go through the review packet here. Let's make sure everybody is doing okay. And like I said, if you get on and just do something in chat. Okay, this is number 14. And if you're like, why is he starting at 14? Remember, on Tuesday, we posted the first 6 pages. We went through those and worked through each one of those. Okay, so we got, I need the glasses here. And let's put so you can see the document a little better right there. I got my calculator. Have your calculator out, ready to go. Okay, so number of years since 1990. We got 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Always try to fill that in. Remember which part you're talking about, where you're working. And here's the bottled water consumption. Take a look at the situation here. Identify the explanatory variable and the response variable. So remember the explanatory, I always said explanatory is the X, and that would be the X, or the explanatory is the years since 1990. And the response variable is the Y, billions of gallons of water. Bottled water consumption. That's the bottled water consumption right there. Okay? So we want to make a scatter plot of this. Let's take a look. How do we enter that? Refresh your memory on entering that. I go into my stats right there. Let me see, make sure you can see that. I like that better right here. Let's move the worksheet. Let's put it over here so you can see a little better. We got stats. And then you want to, how's that? Yeah, there we go. And then we want to edit. And remember, if there's something in your list, just move up to the top, hit clear, and enter. That'll clear the whole list off. Move your cursor up to list 2, clear, enter, clear, enter. Let's move those out. And then we'll make our list 1 the years since 1990. So we got 0, 3, 6. You got to put them in the right order. 12, 15. There's the years since then. And then the bottled water consumption, 2.2, 3.1, 4.7, 7.5, 11.4, and 16.9. Okay, so there is the years since that time. Okay, so we entered that in there. Now we want to make a scatter plot. Now remember what a scatter plot was. Okay, if we go under Statplot right here, second Statplot, and the very first one, we turn on, and the scatter plot is just the dots. So make sure you have your dots selected. And your X in list 1, list 2, we're all set. Now remember, the big thing is we don't hit graph right away. Go to window. Oh, hold on. One more, sorry. I think I entered something wrong. Let me get rid of that. Okay, so we go to, let me double check just to make sure. Yeah, on scatter plot, little dots. All right, so go to window, and let's see what our window should be. Our X values, our explanatory variables, should be between 0 and 15. So I always do a little more, just a little bit extra. And then our y variables looks like it's about 2 point, so we could start at 0, but then it's going up to 16, so let's go to 20. Remember, don't just hit graph. You want to set your window so it works out. And then let's see what it looks like. Now we could hit graph, and there's our dots right there. Okay, so when you make your chart here, okay, don't forget to label your axis. Okay, this is, okay, here, this is years. And we got 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. There's years right there. And then here, let's go, let's go up by, how about 4, 8, 12, 16. And so notice at 0, we're right about halfway at 2. At 3, we're still a little low right there. At 6, we're about a little bit there. So now we got to say, what are we looking at here? At 9, 9 is about 7. At 12, we're about 11. And at 16 or 15 years, we're about 16. Okay, so what are we looking at there? Does this look linear or does this look quadratic? You see, that's the first question. Okay, and looking like linear. Okay, now it could be a quadratic. Let me change colors here. It could be going like this. It could be going up. We're going to check that. Quadratic is the red one. So blue, the dotted line is linear. The red is quadratic. We're going to see which one is better for that. So it says, find the equation of the best fitting parabola. Okay, parabola is what they want us to do. So they want us to do the red one. Okay, so we could talk about both, but let's just answer this question. Now remember where the parabola was. Okay, under stats, calculate, the linear was number 4. The parabola was number 5. Okay, so if we want a best fitting linear, we would do number 4. If we want a best fitting parabola, we would do number 5. Well, since the problem said parabola, let's use number 5. And make sure list 1, mine should say list 2. If I want to do list 2, it's second 2 to get list 2. And I go down to calculate, and it tells me right there. So let me write it down. And we're doing red because we're doing the parabola. We got y equals 0.06. It said round to 3 decimal places. So 4x squared plus 0.005x plus 2.321. There's our parabola, since they asked us for a parabola. Now, remember, if you're watching in chat now and you're like, I don't get what you're talking about, you got to stop me. You got to say something. If you're watching it online later, then send a message or something. Tell me when you get confused. Okay, so estimate in 2013. Okay, now remember, 2013, let's check where 2013 was. 2005 is 15 years. 2010 would be 20 years. So 2013, the X would be 23 years. Okay, so I want to estimate that. Okay, I want to estimate that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go my graph, and I'm going to just type this in there. Let's see how it looks. Okay, we got 0.062x squared plus 0.005x plus 2. You see, just enter that in there. Let's hear the graph. How we looking? Does it look? Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks like it's matching up there. So when we want to calculate, to trace, and here comes the hard part. If I want to use my calculator, I make sure it's on the function right there, and I just type in 23 years. Oh, and an invalid. So let's just plug it in. Okay, 0.0 parentheses 23 close parentheses. Remember, when you plug stuff in, always use parentheses. Squared plus 0.002 parentheses 23 plus 2. My kids, if you ever may hear that, my kids are in the background. And I get an enter. Oh, did I type something wrong when I was telling you my kids are in the background? Yeah, let me delete that. Enter. And it looks like an estimation would be 36.29 billions of gallons. Billions of gallons right there. See how I did that? I just typed in, now that we got our equation right here, I just typed that in. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, now determine when the consumption reaches 14 billion. All right, that's a little trickier. We got to find the intersection of the graph. Remember we did that on before the old worksheet, finding the intersection. What you have to do, let me turn the plot off. What you have to do is you have to find, this isn't saying x is 14, this is saying y is 14 here. That's what this question is. Whereas E is saying x is 23, and I'm plugging in 23 for x. F is saying y, the billions of gallons, y is 14, and solve for x. It's, in other words, I'm trying to solve 14 equals 0.064x squared plus 0.005x plus 2.321. Notice the difference. Here, I'm plugging x in there. Here, y is 14. Okay, so while I'm not going to do that by hand, so what I do is I get my calculator, I graph it on my calculator, hit graph, take a look at what the graph looks like. There's the first one that we saw. There's the, and you see the intersection right there. So all I want to do is have the calculator calculate the intersection. Second calc, intersect. And remember, to do the intersect, watch where I was, second calc. Remember, you can always pause the video when you're watching it later and look at your calculator and follow each step. Second calc, intersect, enter, enter, enter. Get as close as you can, and there's my intersection. X is 13.46. So I look over here. 13 is right around 2003. There's that first worksheet. Now remember, if something's bothering you, the best thing to do is really be online now, but I understand some people can't be online now. So if something's bothering you, so put a message and say that one I was a little stuck on. Okay, and I could post an explanation for you. All right, and we'll go to the last worksheet here. Here comes the last one. More data here. Ooh, see, they're playing. See, I'm sure your house sounds the same. Okay. Oh, see, they're right above me now. Can you hear that? Here's the data. Okay, you make a scatter plot. Same thing. You want to do a scatter plot. So let me enter the data. Let me clear out this old stuff. Edit. Clear out the old stuff. I should tell them to stop doing that. I don't know if you could hear that or not. All right. 1 second. There you go. I told them to pause. Let's see if they actually listen to me. All right. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 57, 86.2, 99.4, 73.6, 54 point. All right, there's that. Just enter it in your calculator. And remember one more time, where's the scatter plots? Oh, let me turn off the old stuff. Let me clear these. Yeah, it's easier just clearing the old stuff. Like clear, clear. All right, so now you go to Statplot right up there, second y equals, Statplot. And select any one you want, but let's select the first one. Turn it on, and the scatter plot's the very first one. That's scatter plot. Okay, and make sure your list 1 and list 2, that's where you put the data. So hit graph. Oh, I fell for my own trap. See how nothing, look when I hit graph, nothing showed up? Because I got to go to window and make sure the window is my spacing, 0 to 75. And then here it looks like, I always go 0 to... Ooh, maybe 100. Let's go 100. And now the data's there. Okay, so make my scatter plot. We got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and this is the price. And then let's go again. Let's go by 25, 50. Change your scale. Make sure your scale. I'm running this, got a little small little space there, and this is the profit. And then at 10, the profit was about 57. At 20, we're up here. At 30, pretty high. At 40, we're right around there. At 50, a little lower, and at 60 in the 50s. So what does that look like now? Take a look at that graph right there. That looks like a parabola, an upside-down parabola. Okay? And again, the explanatory variable is the x. That's how I always remember it. Explanatory is x, so explanatory variable is the price. The response variable is the profit. That question might be there tomorrow on the quiz. Okay, use a quadratic regression to calculate the line of best fit. We just did that. Okay, let me show it again. Same type of problem. It's under Stat, Calculate, and number 5. 5 is the quadratic. So double check if everything's in the right spot. Hit Enter, and it calculates. And let's see what it got. It got negative. Okay, that makes sense because it's opening down. X squared plus 4.19x plus 24.4. There's my equation. So use that to find the vertex and the maximum. Okay, now refresh your memory. Remember vertex from the last video. Vertex was minus b over 2a. You see that? Minus b over 2a. So in this case, it's minus 4.19 over 2 times negative 0.063. So let me type that in there. Negative 4.169 divided by, now watch these parentheses, be careful, because if you make a mistake here, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go negative 4.1, I'm going to take 2 steps here. I'm going to first multiply 2 times negative 0.063. So I'm going to do that step first and get negative 0.126, because I can't do that in my head. And negative over negative is positive. That's easy. And then I got 4.19 divided by 0.126. And I'm at 33.25. See that? And does that make sense? Around 33. That looks kind of like where the highest point is. 33. And then plug it in to get the y, just like we did on the last page. Let's plug it in. We're going to take that 33.25, and I'm going to type it exactly the way I see it. Let me try to make sure it's on the screen here. Exactly, I see it. I got negative 0.063, parentheses, 33.25, close parentheses squared. Don't forget to use parentheses. Plus 4.19, parentheses, 33.25, close parentheses, plus 24.4. Enter. And it looks like there, the theoretical max is 94 million. So what does that mean in content of the problem? That's our last question here. What does it mean in content of the problem? Our maximum profit is predicted to be $94 million. That's what that is talking about. There's how we work through that problem right there. Okay, so we did the first 6 videos, our first 6 pages on Tuesday. Here's a couple more pages today. Remember, if you have a question, post a comment. Say, let's talk about that little situation. I could send you an email, send me an email, something you want. What you want to do is you want to be able to, just talk through it. So remember, we're going to be online every Tuesday, Thursday, live, so we could talk to each other. And then you're going to have some of the work and submitting some of your work and that kind of stuff. That's how I'll do grades. You just got to submit. You got to send your work. There's 3 sheets so far, so you got to send your work each day, post that, or send it to me. And then we'll be able to, put some nice grades in. Okay? All right. If you have a question, let me know. I'll be around all day. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.